So in my last video, I warned you guys that this week might be a little boring, and the reason for that is the fact that I've never had a romantic relationship before, which is a little unusual, I guess, but I'm not really at the age yet where people feel the need to ask questions when I tell them that. And to be completely honest, I'd say that 90% of the reason for this has nothing to do with the fact that I'm asexual. I've not met anybody who I'm interested in that way. And it's not that I'm aromantic. I do know that I do want to be in a relationship someday. Though at the same time, I don't really think that I'd be entirely miserable if I didn't, as long as I had good platonic relationships and a lot of pets or something. But then again, maybe this is all related. I mean, I've never not been asexual, so it's hard to tell. The number two reason that I've never dated anybody, and I'm not really actively trying to change that, is the fact that I'd be a little worried dating a sexual person, and the only place that I can really think of where it's very likely to meet somebody who's asexual is online. And I'm not really interested in online dating. I've tried it out, but the internet is full of a lot of weird people. And every experience that I've had with online dating so far is I meet somebody who says they're asexual. I talk to them for a few weeks or a few months, and then suddenly they tell me, oh, by the way, I am a gray A, and if we ever meet, I will want to have sex. So the other option is dating in real life. Oh my god, real life, I know. I'm sorry, my camera's being a real piece of crap right now, so I am going to have to finish this video using my webcam. Anyway, as I was saying, it's probably safe to assume that any guy I meet in real life is eventually going to want sex. But at least I'll know that from the very beginning, and he's not just going to spring it on me. I guess that doesn't really solve any problems, though. Hence the reason that I just don't date. I just think it's better to avoid the whole business, and I'm just kind of hoping that someday I'll be good friends with a guy and he'll know my situation, and then somewhere down the road we get into a relationship, and I don't need to worry about when I'm going to tell him I'm asexual because he already knows. And I find that that's one big thing that asexuals really worry about when they get into relationships, is when to tell the other person that you're asexual. If you tell them right off the bat, then they might not be willing to give you a chance. After all, they don't know you, so why should they? But then if you wait too long, it's almost like you've been leading them on, and if they aren't okay with it, then you've basically got a pretty bad breakup ahead of you. In my opinion, the best way to deal with this is, as I said, just get to know the person as friends first. And I don't think this is a completely unknown tactic, but I could be wrong. Then if you want to turn the relationship into something more, the other person already knows you well enough to make the decision about whether they're okay with being with an asexual. But anyway, this is all just my personal experience. I know there have been people who've met on Facebook who eventually got married. There was a short segment on 2020 that followed an asexual couple who met online. Just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. And then there are a lot of people online who say sexual-asexual relationships just don't work, but you can't really say that. There have been surveys done that actually reveal that 15% of married couples have had little or no sexual activity in the past year. So if there are relationships, sexless relationships that exist between sexual people, for whatever reason, then why can't there be relationships between sexual and asexual people that work the same way? I just feel that I have to say this because I've seen so many threads online where people are talking about losing hope of ever finding someone. And it's so important, firstly, not to give into thoughts like this, but also not to focus so heavily on finding someone. It will happen for you eventually, but being depressed and being desperate just makes you come off as somebody who's depressed and desperate. What's important in life is that you're happy, but if you feel that you need to depend on somebody else in your life for your own happiness, then you aren't doing life right. If you think that I would just be happy if I had a girlfriend, you won't be. Relying on somebody else to make you happy isn't going to help you, and it's not fair to the other person. But keep in mind that this is all coming from a person who, as I've said, has never been in a relationship. This could all just be a whole load of crap. That's it for this week. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about coming out. Comments, questions, ideas for topics, leave them below. If you're interested in being a guest vlogger, send us a message. And that's it.